Thank you, Madam Speaker. I intend to use my 5-minute special order.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, it was a few months ago that Congress passed and the President signed this health care bill. 2,700 pages that I don't think a lot of people read. But if you did read it, you might have gotten to this one section, Section 9006, and I'll just read it very quickly. Expansion of information reporting requirements. In general, Section 6041 of the IRS Code of 86 is amended by adding at the end of the following new subsections H, application to corporations, notwithstanding any regulation prescribed by the Secretary before the date of the enactment of this section. For purposes of this section, the term person includes any corporation that is not an organization exempt from tax under Section 501A. I, regulations. The Secretary may prescribe such regulations and other guidance as may be appropriate or necessary to carry out the purposes of this section, including rules to prevent duplicative reporting of transactions. B, payments for property and other gross proceeds. Section A of Section 6041 of the IRS Code 86 is amended by inserting amounts in consideration for property after wages, by inserting by inserting gross proceeds after emoluments or other, and 3, inserting gross proceeds after setting forth the amount of such. C, effective date. The amendments may be made by this section shall apply to payments made after December 31st, 2011. A lot of gobbledygook, right? Anybody here know what that means? No, they don't. Let me tell you what it means. That section that I just read, even if you read it before we voted on the House floor, is a requirement that every business in America, beginning January 1st of next year, 2011, will have to file a 1099 MISC for any transaction that exceeds $600 during the course of the year. So what does that mean? You got a business that goes to Staples. They're going to have to keep track of every transaction that they made. You know, if you buy $50 as a business, $50 a month from Staples, you're going to have to file a 1099. If you've got a sales force and maybe they go off to a bunch of hotels or restaurants during the course of the year, you're going to have to find every one of those for all your employees. During this recent break that we were home, I met with one of my small business people in Michigan. Last year they filed 10 1099s. They figure that next year they have, 30 people that work for them. They're going to have to file 350 1099s. Any business transaction that exceeds $600 over the course of the year, they're going to have to file a 1099. Now, what does that have to do with health care? How does that help the employees that are working there, that maybe they have to hire some more people to fill out the 1099s and they're going to be covered? Well, that's just crazy. This is a new regulation that's going to be put on businesses. It's going to cost a lot more money. If anything, it's going to take away from folks that have health care in America. Now, we have some good news. There is a bill. My colleague Dan Lundgren from California introduced a bill, H.R. 5141, the Small Business Paperwork Mandate Elimination Act. Just on the title, you know what that means versus what I just read at the beginning of my remarks. It takes this away. What the heck are we going to be collecting that information for? Well, somewhere else, I don't know what page it's in here, but of course it calls for the hiring of 15,000 more IRS agents. Maybe that's why they have to hire them, so they can look at all these 1099s that every business is going to have to file. Now, remember, when you do a 1099, it's more than just the amount. You're going to have to go get the employee identification number for every business that you made that sale. So, as I talked to my Kalamazoo home builders a couple times over the last couple weeks, if they just happen to take their pickup and fill up at that Marathon or Speedway station every other week, and it's going to be more than $600 over the course of the year, they're going to have to get that employer identification number, keep track of all those gas records. They're going to have to do it with, think about the utilities, Consumers Energy, American Electric Power, I&M, all the utility companies will have to do a separate 1099 for every business that they serve if they sell more than, in essence, $50 worth of electricity to. What a nightmare. Now, some might suggest that this is the first step to a VAT tax. That's right. The IRS now is going to assemble all this information, and maybe, and remember it says it's effective 2012, but that means you have to start filing beginning in January 1st, only 5 or 6 months from now.
Expired.
It's the first step. It's a wrong step. We need to repeal it. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired. Mr. DeFazio from Oregon. Mr. Jones from North Carolina. For what purpose is the gentlewoman from Florida rise?